Journal entry number 22, April 17th, 2020. I received a new directive from the Carnal Order today, this one more explicit than any before. The target, a man labeled as a traitor to their clandestine network. I was to intercept him on his nightly commute. I spent the afternoon shadowing his routine, learning the predictable rhythm of his steps. In the urban maze, I became a silent observer, a ghost in his peripheral vision. When night fell, I followed him into an isolated industrial district. My heartbeat was a steady drum, not of fear, but of cold calculation. I cornered him near a deserted loading dock. The act itself was clinical. I subdued him quickly, binding his wrists and muffling his protests with a rag soaked in a bitter antiseptic. I recall the moment the knife slipped free from my grasp, a blade I'd chosen for its precision. With each measured thrust, I felt a disquieting clarity, as though the chaos of my inner world had momentarily stilled. I watched in muted fascination as life ebbed from his eyes. His final gaze, a mingled expression of shock and resignation, still haunts me. I dismembered the body with methodical precision, preserving parts for the Carnal Order's rituals, a macabre trophy to prove my loyalty. Later, as I cleaned my tools and methodically disposed of the remains, I couldn't help but wonder if I was witnessing the birth of a new self, or merely another act in Silas's unfathomable design. Journal entry number 23, April 18th, 2020. This morning, I revisited the scene in my mind as if it were a film I had no power to stop. I replayed every detail. The soft thud of his body hitting the cold concrete, the metallic taste of blood in my mouth, the rhythmic cadence of my own controlled breathing. I feel no remorse, only a hollow acknowledgement of necessity. The Order deemed him expendable, and I was merely their instrument. I documented every sensation, the chill of the night air against my skin, the almost tactile texture of his fear in his final moments, and the perverse satisfaction in each calculated move. I kept asking myself, was this truly my decision? But even as these questions surfaced, they were drowned by an overriding certainty, a conviction that every act brings me closer to an identity I no longer recognize. In a way, each kill is a dialogue with Silas. I see his influence in every calculated detail, the precision, the detachment, the unyielding drive to erase imperfections. His earlier words echo in my mind. Shatter the chains, Ethan. Only then will you be free. Yet, I'm not free at all. I'm chained to this unending cycle, and every murder is both a rebellion and a surrender. Journal entry number 24, June 2nd, 2020. Tonight, the assignment took a turn for the more ritualistic. My new target was a low-level informant, a man whose betrayal had cost the syndicate dearly. I encountered him on the outskirts of a decaying neighborhood, where neon signs flickered like dying embers. The informant's life was as inconsequential as his sniveling lies, yet the act of ending him felt monumental. I lured him into a derelict warehouse under the guise of a clandestine meeting. Once isolated, I forced him to confront the inevitability of his fate. I remember the glint in his eyes as he realized there was no escape, a look that, for a moment, evoked a pang of pity in me. I silenced that emotion with the swift strike of my blade. After the deed was done, I took extra measures. I arranged his dismembered body into a crude tableau, a morbid message for any who might dare cross the Carnal Order in the future. The gruesome display was not for my pleasure alone. It was a statement, an assertion of power and control, a final word on betrayal. The meticulous arrangement of limbs and the deliberate exposure of raw muscle served as a testament to my transformation. In that moment, I was both judge and executioner, enacting a fate designed long before I ever lifted a knife.